It is Tuesday, which of course means it's time to answer the questions that you guys send in every single week on the Brendan Plays forums at brendanplays.com/forums or in the YouTube comment section down below. As well as that, you can also leave a voicemail on the brendanplays.com website by clicking the big green button on the right hand side of the page. Well, it's been one of those weeks. Disaster has struck. Lots of news to talk about this week. Obviously, the injury of Seth Rollins is the one we need to discuss this week, and we're going to get all into that. We're going to talk about Raw and the Survivor Series tournament and what's going on there. So that's going to be the main vocal point of today's show. As well as that, obviously, Fallout 4, it's in my hands. I have it. I've been playing it. I think I already have like 12 hours put into it. Honestly, I played the living fuck out of it already. I love the game so much. We're going to talk a lot about that later on. As well as that Black Ops 3 as well. So plenty to talk about today. So before we get into today's show, obviously give a quick little few plugs we got to do here first. So if you want to find Let's Talk Tuesdays on other platforms other than YouTube, you can of course go to iTunes and search up Let's Talk Tuesdays, Spreaker as well, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. We need some support on Stitcher. We need some love on Stitcher. So if you have an Android or even an iOS, if you want to, or even on the computer, if you just want to listen to us on Stitcher, and that would be a really good way to kind of help us out, because that's a big platform and we don't really have much of a presence there. So if we can get some Stitcher support there, that'd be great. So I do want to thank all you guys that continue to listen every single week. Episode number 80 this week, which is pretty cool. And obviously right now we are getting ready to do the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, which is coming. It's been recorded. It just needs to be edited and recorded and talked over and things like that. So it is coming. I think I might just put it out on the weekend, honestly. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I have 2 exams tomorrow and Thursday, which are kind of annoying me right now. I kind of have to, I feel obliged to try and study for those exams. So I've got some things I got to do this week that are kind of impacting my time towards making videos. As well as that, obviously Fallout 4 and now not too much, a bit of a lesser extent now. The last few days has been Black Ops 3 non-stop, but now it's mainly Fallout. So some games that I want to play, videos, I know I need to do it, but I just, but it'll be done. It'll be done, and probably get it out on the weekend. That would allow me to stream it as well on the weekend, and that would be really cool to do the stream again. I think you guys really enjoyed that big live stream, so perhaps we'll do that again. We'll see. But yeah, so Extreme Rules on the way, and of course, if you want to know when Extreme Rules is going to be coming, make sure you keep up to date with everything Brendan Plays by following me on Twitter. My Twitter is at Brendan Plays, and also liking the Facebook page Brendan Plays Official. Links to those will be in the description below. Make sure you do that, and that will allow you to keep up to date. And if you have those already, make sure you just follow me anyways to keep up to date with everything Brendan Plays. So before we get into the Raw talk, I just want to also address what I talked about last week. Last week I kind of was, people might say I was moping around or was a bit upset or whatever about the fact that my channel hadn't exactly been doing all that well since WWE 2K16 launched. But this week, a bit of an update. Things have turned around. So things have been much, much better this week. And basically what happened was, but the problem that my channel really faced was last week, my videos weren't getting out in the search results. So when you search WWE 2K16, my videos were right down the bottom of the list, if not on the second, third pages. They weren't up the top. Now, if you search WWE 2K16, my video is number 1. And I have 3, 4, 5 videos on the front page as well. So my videos are getting searched up and rated really, really well, which is fantastic. And that's exactly what needs to happen for me to get maximum exposure on my channel. So my video went from something like 20,000 views last week to doubling to nearly 50,000 views. I'm talking about episode 1 here, which is fantastic, which is great. So been a much, much better week. I'm much, much happier. I mean, last week I just think I was really stressed out and a little disappointed. Obviously, I worked so hard on the first couple of episodes of Universe Mode, and obviously worked so hard on WrestleMania, and the view counts weren't quite there, and I just wasn't really satisfied, and I kind of felt disappointed. Perhaps I had higher expectations for myself, but they weren't being met. But this week, things are looking much better. The subscribers are still steadily coming along. Everything's okay, so we're all good there. Plus, this week as well, I spoke about it last week that I was going to go see a cricket match, which I did. I went and saw 2 days of the first test match between Australia and New Zealand, which was fantastic. Great days, really, really good, great cricket. So that's kind of refreshed me, re-energized me, and I'm really ready to go. And, you know, I also had a lot of hate this week. I mean, some people were, like, being ridiculous. I had some comments this week saying, oh, Brendan, you'd never upload. I mean, I like your channel, but I wish you would upload daily. You know, this channel, you know, what's happening? You're not uploading anymore. Like, I took 3 days off. Like, not even that. Like, 2 days I didn't go without uploading, or 3 days tops. And people are all of a sudden freaking out and accuse me of not uploading anymore, and, you know, saying, oh, I'm going to go watch so-and-so because you don't upload anymore. So it's just kind of, like, ridiculous because, you know, I wanted to take a couple of days off, go and see this match, have some time off because I've been working extremely hard on all my videos, non-stop every single day, and as well as that, doing assignments. Now I have exams. I'm trying to balance all that around. And now I have all these new games I want to play as well, so it's just kind of like all these things I want to do at once, and not enough time to do it all, so I just wanted to take a couple of days and just, you know, relax, you know, play the new Black Ops, which I've been enjoying. I had a chance to catch up with some friends this week and play Black Ops, which was fantastic. I had a blast doing that, and also go and see this cricket game, which is fantastic. So I've had a few days to kind of relax, regroup, and kind of refresh myself. And I think I really did need that, so I'm very pleased with that. And also, last week as well, we had some criticism. People saying, Brendan, you shouldn't be talking about this kind of thing on your show, and you just should be talking about wrestling. You shouldn't be talking about personal things, or you know, bringing your channel into discussion. As well as that, I want to address that as well. Like, honestly, like, Let's Talk Tuesdays is not wrestling at all. It's just... it's whatever I want to talk about. It's what's interesting me, what's on my mind, and obviously wrestling is a big part of my life, so I'm going to be talking about wrestling a lot because it's always on my mind. I just finished watching Raw today, and, you know, there's a lot of things to talk about. I've got a lot of interest in wrestling, and when there's not much interest in wrestling, you'll see I'll go and, you know, talk about gaming, and I'll talk about sports, and talk about movies, and talk about other things, because that's what's been interesting me that week. So, whilst wrestling is a huge interest of mine, you know, I want to also talk about other things that's on my mind as well. There's not really a lot of things that's on my mind, let's be real, so that's why wrestling is a good, you know, portion of the show. But, yeah, so I can talk whatever the hell I want to, you know, I can say whatever the hell I want to say, and talking about my channel is something that I like to do. You know, for me, when somebody talks about, one of my favorite YouTubers, you know, when they talk about their channel, that really interests me. Now, I don't know if that's going to interest all of you, but honestly, I don't really care, because this is something that I want to get off my chest, and I don't really get personal at all. You guys, you don't really know all that much about me on a personal level, and honestly, I like to keep it like that. I don't really open up to anybody. You know, you have to be very, very close to me to get anything out of me. So I don't really open up on a personal level. So this is about the best you're going to get out of me. And the only time I'm going to really open up is about something that you already know about, and that's my YouTube channel. So if I have something to say about my YouTube channel, like last week, I was a little disappointed with my view counts and the subscribers, whatever, then I'm going to open up and say a few things about that. And I don't really see why that's a problem. So all the people that were criticizing last week, click off the fucking video and get fucked, because I don't really care. Honestly, like, people annoying me like that has just been driving me nuts, because I've had so many things being said to me this week that just makes me go, what the fuck? What's wrong with people? So I can't even talk about a certain topic on my own podcast that, you know, it's optional for you to listen to, and you can always skip ahead. If you don't like me talking about something, then skip ahead 5 minutes and you'll be on to the next topic. So I apologize for the little rant, but I needed to get that off my chest. And, you know, to all you people who do just support the show and just support me, and no matter what I do, I really thank you guys. You guys are the people that I really want to try and make these videos for. That's why I make these videos, to entertain you guys, and you're the people that I cherish the most. So we'll move on from that, and we'll now get into the topic that, well, I think we've all kind of been waiting for. I think probably everybody's really discussed this already, and you probably, if you follow other wrestling shows, you would have heard about this topic to death, but I haven't really shared my thoughts and opinions on it at all, not even on my live stream. I was streaming Fallout 4 last night, and I only got the question once, you know, what did I think about the injury, and I only said like 2 things about it, so I've been kind of saving my thoughts and opinions on today's show. But honestly, like, you know, I don't know what I'm going to really say. I've had a chance to think about it. I'm not exactly sure what my thoughts and opinions are on the situation. I'm kind of 50-50. So, of course, I'm talking about Seth Rollins getting injured. He's going to be out for 6 to 9 months. So, basically, he screwed his knee up. His knee's blown out, gone, and which is a travesty. I've heard some people say this is the best thing for Seth Rollins, this is great. It might be the best thing for Seth Rollins, the character, but for Seth Rollins, the man, this is terrible, because he may not be able to wrestle the same again. You blow out your knee, you're never going to be the same. No matter who you are, you're just never going to be the same again. And Seth Rollins, well, I hope he does come back better than he was, now, which is going to be hard to do. Seth Rollins is fantastic, but him blowing his knee out is really, really tough. And, I'm going to be looking at this as more of a business standpoint and looking on the side of things that, if I was in charge of the WWE, what would my thoughts be, rather than the entertainment aspect. Because, to me, as an aspiring manager in my profession, I would like to be a manager of some sorts in the future. I'm going to be looking at that, obviously, in that sense. So, the WWE, would I say they're fucked? I would nearly do it. I would nearly say they are all but screwed. We look at Monday Night Raw, and we're going to bounce back in between Monday Night Raw because this is all going to relate. The Survivor Series tournament. So basically, what they're doing right now, as you guys already know, having a number one contendership in Survivor Series tournament, and the winner, the final two guys in the tournament, meet, and whoever wins the tournament gets the championship. So the title is on the line at the end of the day at Survivor Series, and you look at the brackets. You look at the brackets, and you can really just see three guys that honestly have any chance of winning this. Realistically, probably only two guys, and that's Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. I mean, Sheamus, he's Money in the Bank holder, and he's already out. He's gone. So he's meant to be this big threat, and he's already gone. Tyler Breeze is gone, which, who cares about him? And you look at the brackets, you got Kalisto in the tournament. Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil, when was the last time he was on a Raw? 3 months ago? Kalisto, he got one victory against Sheamus and Bad News Barrett last week, and all of a sudden he's a number one contender for the world title. He was in a singles match in forever. The last time he did, he got bitched out by Kevin Owens, probably. So why the hell is he in this tournament? I have no idea. Bad News Barrett, a joke. Neville, basically a joke. Ryback's on the decline. So really, everybody in this tournament, where's the star power? Where's the credibility? That's the thing. This injury to Seth Rollins and to John Cena, well, not to John Cena, but to Randy Orton and John Cena no longer being there, has completely exposed the WWE. There is no longer any star power. And this is the problem that the WWE's had for such a long time, and something that I've been talking about for a long, long time. The WWE needs to rebuild. You look at the roster 10 years ago. There are stars everywhere. They had enough stars to make 2 shows dedicated to those stars. Separate stars for each show. They had that many. They could do that. Now, who have we got? We've got Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, who they don't even see Dean Ambrose as much of a commodity. John Cena's not there. Lesnar's not there. Taker's back for a hot minute. So, you look at the show, and who the hell have they got? There is no one. And that's such a huge problem right now. I think that's the biggest thing that the WWE needs to address. They have to do it. This is the time. No more screwing around. They've done it in the past. They've been able to create stars in the past. Big or small. You look at, you got your Bret Hart, your Shawn Michaels back in the 90s. They created those. When they needed to compete against WCW, they had Austin, The Rock, Foley, Kane, and they had all these guys coming through. Mick Foley, they turned him into a main event guy. They had all these top guys that they created. Triple H as well, back then when the writing was against the wall. But now, you look at recently, who has been the last stars that they've really made? Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, was that really WWE manufactured? Not really. It was mainly the fans forced them, forced the WWE to push these guys. CM Punk had a little bit more of, I suppose, probably politicked his way to the top. And the WWE kind of was more reluctant to give him a chance, whereas Daniel Bryan, the WWE didn't want anything to do with Daniel Bryan. They beat the guy in 18 seconds at WrestleMania, and the fans just kept cheering for the guy. They had no choice. So, the last 5 years or so, it's really been nobody. Roman Reigns, I think, is there. I don't think he's quite... maybe if he wins the title, that might solidify himself as a top guy. Seth Rollins, the booking of him was absolutely dreadful. 1 week he can't even beat J&J. The next week, he's going on about how he's the future and the best guy in the company. And the next week he needs to use the ropes to beat, I don't know, and he just can't beat anyone. The booking of him was just absolutely atrocious. And it really never helped the guy. He never really looked like an established top guy. It seems as though he was always lucky to be champion. It never really looked as though, yeah, this guy, he's the number one. He is unbeatable. He's held this title for 6 months because he's the best. Nobody ever thought that. Everybody always thought this guy is just getting lucky. Every time he wins, it's because of luck. It's because someone interferes or someone helps him out. The only time he'd ever freaking win is like when he beat Sting, or I think he beat Kane as well. So the only times he could actually beat anybody is when they're, on their way out. When Kane and Sting, 50-year-old men, that's the only time Seth Rollins could ever beat anyone. Not, he couldn't beat Dean Ambrose. He couldn't beat Roman Reigns. He couldn't beat these other top guys who are gunning for the title, legit. So Seth Rollins never had any credibility at all. So despite him having the championship for the majority of the year, they never really established him as a top-level guy. And arguably, I could see Seth Rollins going back down the card. I don't think it's going to happen because Seth Rollins is that good that I don't think they're going to let that happen. And obviously they've put so much time, invested so much time into him, I think they're not going to let that happen again. But we'll talk more about Seth Rollins later and what I think is going to happen with him. There's not really much to say, but we'll talk more about that later. But you can see that, like, this year as well, Dean Ambrose was red hot. There's so many people supporting this guy. Dean Ambrose, every time he would come out, the crowds would go nuts for them. There's so many people just wanting Dean Ambrose. They want to see him. But yet the WWE never really capitalized on that. Dean Ambrose could have been elevated into something huge. He could have been the top guy, the top babyface. At one point, he was, outselling John Cena merchandise. Dean Ambrose has been on fire. But the WWE continued to ignore it and not want to push him because it wasn't a part of their grand scheme. Roman Reigns was always their grand scheme. Even though Roman Reigns has had a rough year, he's recovered nicely, and I'm a big fan of Roman Reigns now, and I'm more than happy to see him win that championship. We'll talk more about that in a moment, though. But again, the star power that they have is just so minimal. It's just, you look at this tournament, and it's just ridiculous. There's really nobody in this tournament that you could see winning it, other than perhaps two guys. Kevin Owens, they could have really created into a top heel, but when John Cena beat him, immediately he went down the card and became, a footnote. He's slowly on his way back because they've really got no other heels to put in that position other than Kevin Owens. So he has to be there. And he's showing that he can really hang because he's got the talent, he's got the class, he's good enough. So the WWE, if they had have pushed him and actually had him beat and win the feud against Cena all those months ago, well, wouldn't Kevin Owens be a much bigger deal right now? He could be, in that Seth Rollins position rather than, perhaps, who's going to be the next top heel? Who's the number one heel right now in the company? Bray Wyatt? Sheamus? Del Rio? Come on. Getting Del Rio back was a good thing, but giving him the US title was a bad thing because immediately you've got Del Rio stuck with the title, and you can't really do much else with him because you got two of your upper mid-card heels with the mid-card titles. So if you had Kevin Owens and Del Rio titleless heading in towards this tournament, perhaps I could honestly give them a chance of winning it. Perhaps Del Rio, if he had to come back and beat Cena on his first night back in a non-title match, I would have perhaps thought, okay, well, Del Rio, he has a chance of being the next champion. But now, because he has that title around his waist already, I can't see it happening. And Kevin Owens, I can't see winning it either. I just don't think the WWE is going to double up on their title holders at all. So, we're left with really only Ambrose and Reigns. And Ambrose, like I said earlier, can we really believe that they're going to have Dean Ambrose beat Roman Reigns? I don't think so. So all the signs lead towards a Roman Reigns victory. And honestly, it's the right decision. The guy is ready. He's been 3 years. The last year and a half, he's been a singles guy. Like him or hate him, he's doing good work. He's improved leaps and bounds. And the guy is really the only logical choice right now. And here's how I would do it. I think we're all kind of expecting something to happen. Someone has to turn. Is it going to be Ambrose or is it going to be Reigns? For me, I'm having Roman Reigns turn heel. Have Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose in the final. And, you know, it could be so easy to turn Ambrose, which I think might be what they probably will do. I think they'll probably say, well, Roman Reigns has got to be the guy. But the better storyline, I think, would definitely be with Ambrose as the babyface, the beloved babyface. So, Roman Reigns versus Ambrose, they're having a match, but then you have perhaps Roman Reigns just beat the shit out of Ambrose, just really beat him, like, aggressively and over the top, like, the referee's telling Roman, stop, you know, stop, you've won, you know, you've won the match, you won the title, but Roman just keeps on going, it just keeps on going, and, you know, you can either go that way with Roman, why did he do that to Ambrose, you know, has the title kind of overtaken his mind, you know, or the other way they can go with it is obviously the Authority. They kind of tease that on Raw. They tease the Roman Reigns joining Triple H thing, and Roman Reigns turned it down. So if Roman Reigns went to the Authority now, in the end, it would probably be a little bit ridiculous now, wouldn't it? I mean, well, you could have had a free ride to through the tournament, and you could be champion already, I think they kind of alluded to, or be in the final. So why would you turn that down and then in the end go with them anyway? So it doesn't really make sense anymore to go that way. So I guess Roman Reigns just beating up Ambrose viciously because it's the title is on the line. He's wanted that championship so badly that he'd be willing to beat the shit out of his best friend to get it. You know, the championship has fueled him so much that he would turn his back on his friend for that title and do anything, whatever it takes. Which would then position Ambrose as the beloved babyface. We want to see Ambrose get his revenge on Reigns. And the crowd already loves Ambrose. I don't think the crowd is going to turn their back on Ambrose. I don't think the crowd is going to boo Ambrose. I think they're all going to be in favor of him. Whereas Reigns, I think it's more like a 70-30, maybe a 60-40 kind of split right now. I didn't see the reaction for Reigns on Raw today. But I think you'll find that Roman Reigns could easily slot into the heel position. Roman Reigns is a big bad guy. It's easy. Like, he looks like a heel. He acts like a heel. He should be a heel. You know, Ambrose, I think, would be a fantastic heel. I think that is to come, but I don't think it's the right time. I think the right time for him is to be the babyface and be the guy against Roman Reigns and chase that title. Probably won't get the title, perhaps in the end, if you really want to do a slow, long, you know, rivalry between the two, perhaps Ambrose wins the Rumble and versus Reigns at WrestleMania 1-on-1 for that title. That could happen. It's obviously a long time away, so I don't know if the WWE wants to do a storyline that long. Probably not. But that's obviously an option. So you have Ambrose and Reigns positioned against each other, and obviously John Cena comes back as well if you want to put Cena against Reigns. I don't know if they probably will do that. But at least you get yourself a big rivalry heading out of Survivor Series. You got Reigns as the title holder, as a new heel, something different, something exciting, and you got Ambrose versus Reigns for the time being. So you've got yourself a top-level rivalry. It's personal, a good storyline behind it, so you're set for a while. You know, you're okay for a little bit. So you can go with that until you get your Cena back, until Randy Orton comes back, and and these guys start to come back. You have this rivalry that you can build your show around. And obviously, in the time being, you got Bray Wyatt and The Undertaker doing their thing with Kane. So you kind of got another good rivalry to build the show around again. So Roman Reigns as the title holder, I think, has to happen. I think that's probably what's going to happen. It just depends on, is he going to be a babyface or is he going to be a heel? Does Ambrose turn heel because he's fed up? It's the Roman Reigns show. Everybody's always talking about Roman Reigns. Nobody's talking about Dean Ambrose. Does Ambrose finally snap and turn heel on Reigns? But again, I just can't see Ambrose beating Reigns for the title, and I can't see people booing that. I think people will be like, yeah, you're right, Ambrose. Yeah, you deserve that opportunity. Yeah, so they'll probably still cheer him again. Whereas Roman Reigns, if he beat the hell out of Ambrose, even shook hands with Triple H somehow, for whatever reason, then he would get major heat. And I think that would be a much better, much more successful heel turn than an Ambrose heel turn. in my opinion. So, we'll talk about Monday Night Raw now. So, we had the opening promo between Triple H and Roman Reigns. I tell you what, I really, really enjoyed this promo. I thought this was great. I thought the tease was good. I obviously knew he was never going to do it. But it just kind of planted a few seeds and kind of, put the thought in the back of our minds. Would Roman Reigns sell out? Would Roman Reigns do that? Join the Authority to win that title? Perhaps. So, I thought it was a really well done promo. I thought Triple H was great in that promo. And I really, really enjoyed it. They had to do something. The Authority's desperate now. They have to do something. They have to do something to keep that title within the Authority. They have to pick a new guy. And Roman Reigns is obviously the logical decision. If it's not Reigns, who else will it be? That's a good question. Who will be the next guy to be in the Authority? Will there be another Authority guy? I think Roman Reigns would be a perfect choice for it. Would be a good fit. Ambrose certainly would not be. Ambrose in the Authority would be wrong. It just wouldn't feel right. Anybody else, Kevin Owens, I would be down to see that. I think that would work. Anybody else, I don't really see it. I just don't really see it happening. So, we'll see. But, really enjoyed that. So, the thing is now with these injuries, we've got Randy out, we've got Rusev out, Sami Zayn's still out. We've got Cena doing other things. The Rock's not coming back anytime soon. Batista's not coming back anytime soon. Jericho's not coming back. So we have all these injuries. Now that Rollins is gone, there's just so many gaps in the roster. The WWE has to decide, is this the time to rebuild and recreate some new stars? And what I would do, the guys that I would pick to push, obviously Ambrose and Reigns. They're a given. Bray Wyatt, I would have the Wyatts obviously beat the Brothers of Destruction at Survivor Series, have them go over, and have them be positioned as the top heel group and look to take those tag titles and kind of slowly overtake the WWE. I would start to build towards that. But the other guys I would definitely push, it has to be Cesaro. This guy gets such a huge crowd reaction. He actually managed to get an entertaining match out of Sheamus. Somehow he's done that. No, Sheamus isn't that bad in the ring. I'm going to be fair to Sheamus. He's not that bad. But he and Sheamus had a really good match, and I really, really think Cesaro has to be the guy. I know Vince McMahon's not a fan, I know for whatever freaking reason, the guy is that good. He has to be something. He's been wasted away. It's time that they position this guy as a threat. You start picking up victories, getting some wins. Him getting a win over Sheamus surprised me, honestly. I would not have been shocked at all if Sheamus won that. Sheamus doesn't need to win this tournament, by the way. He has money in the bank. Nobody wants to see him win anyway. So let's get him out first round. Happy days. Very good. Cesaro, on the other hand, he gets to that semi-final mark. Well, okay. He impresses and picks up some good victories. I think he's facing Roman Reigns next, though. I think so. He's going to be out. If it's facing Reigns, he's done. Which sucks. And I know they're still doing this stupid thing between Cesaro and Stardust. That's terrible. Get rid of that. Stardust, get the hell away from Cesaro. It's time that Cesaro is pushed into if they can, main event role. Cesaro, the thing is, he probably doesn't have the catchphrase. The Cesaro section is cool. It's not a WWE manufactured thing, so they're not really going with it. But Cesaro, he might, I don't know, does he need a change of look? Is his look okay? What is he missing? He's missing something. Obviously, the promos aren't quite there. Does he need a manager? What can we do to Cesaro? What do you guys think? What does it need to be done to make Cesaro from where he is to the next level? Does he just need the booking? Does he just need the wins and the beating some credible names because he's so good in the ring and he's believable? There's no doubt about that. You push Cesaro into the main event and he beat the likes of a John Cena, for example. You would believe that Cesaro could do that because look at the Cesaro, look at the things he can do in the ring. You can believe that he can do that. So I'd be more than happy to see Cesaro in that position. Now I know everybody's kind of harping on about Cesaro, but it's because if we don't do it, we're not going to get him to where we want him to be, where he deserves to be. The guy's been in the main roster now for 3 years. He's really starting to hit his stride in the last year or two. He's really doing very, very good work, and he's impressing me every single time he goes to the ring. He's very, very good. It's time that we start pushing him into that prominent role. Dolph Ziggler, I mean, is this guy mid-card for life? Probably. It's just so sad. You look at this time last year, Survivor Series, he was on top of the world. We all thought, here we go, this is the time of Dolph Ziggler. And right now, in a time of need, you could really use a guy like Dolph Ziggler, I can't see why Dolph Ziggler isn't around that mid-card, that main event level, that lower tier main event level, like I don't know, you look back at it, perhaps, I don't know, like a Mick Foley, and when the Attitude Era, like, he can be in those big matches, but he's not the star. He's not the star of the show. But if you put him against John Cena, you could expect Dolph Ziggler to put up a good fight. He's not going to win, but you could expect Dolph Ziggler to really compete well. And if you had him in a match against, Dean Ambrose, it'd be an even contest. Either man could win. He should be in that kind of position, but he's not. He's so far down where he is. Can we even believe that Dolph Ziggler can win a match at all? So that's a shame. So obviously I would make Kevin Owens one of your top heels as well. He has to be elevated greatly. So if either Ambrose or Reigns, they become your number one heel. Bray Wyatt up there as well. Bray Wyatt, I think, needs to start thinking about the title picture. I know they're kind of doing him with these other things, but once he's done with The Undertaker, what's next for Bray Wyatt? I don't know. I think he has to be looking towards the title picture, or at least, versing some of these top guys, because Bray Wyatt, I think, is being wasted away. I fear that he might get wasted away again, doing nothing if this Undertaker thing ends and, he's not in the title picture. So I would position Bray Wyatt into the title picture, insert him into that. I think he should have been probably in this contest, this tournament, but I guess the Undertaker thing leaves him out. And mind you, though, Bray Wyatt in the ring is a turn-off. I think Bray Wyatt should just be probably, honestly, strictly a manager and a mouthpiece. And you have a Braun Strowman. I mean, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, come on, they're jokes. The WWE have done such a great job of making those two guys nothing. They just get bitched out on Raw, Taker and Kane chokeslamming them away, but Braun doesn't get much happen to him. Well, in the end he did, but, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper the first to go, so Bray Wyatt probably should just be accompanying Braun Strowman out there and put Strowman in and push him into the top position as a top level heel rather than Bray. I'm not sure, but they've got to start creating some more heels because there's so many baby faces. There's no heels. Someone has to turn. Something interesting needs to happen. Just spice this damn show up, please. So Survivor Series is going to be interesting. I mean, I was very excited for tonight's Raw. I wanted to know what they were going to do. It had my interest for the first 30 minutes, but after all these shitty matches that were in the tournament, so predictable where this tournament's going to go, that it just kind of turned me off. And there really wasn't much else on the show that really got me interested. I mean, the New Day, they were fun. I thought the crowd was pretty good. They were all good except for like the Divas match. The Divas match, it was just absolute silence. You could hear a pin drop when that match was on. You could hear Paige calling all her spots. Normally you can do that every single week anyway. It doesn't matter what crowd it is. But the crowd was just silent. It was just scary silent. It was like a Japanese crowd. They were just silent until a move happened. And I remember the crowd was just dead until somebody won. Then they finally erupted. They finally woke up. So the crowd for the most part was pretty good. But obviously the Divas got a bit of a rough end of it. And obviously the final segment, the Brothers of Destruction versus the Whites, that was great. I really liked that. Bray Wyatt cut a hell of a promo. Really liking his work with this feud. And the Brothers of Destruction, they built it up all show. Showing clips of them throughout the whole show. And then in the end, they did it like a reverse of what they did last week. And, showing off, the highlights of their career again. And then coming out and tearing up and cleaning house. I really thought that was great. I really, really liked that. Very keen to see where they go. Is it going to be 2-on-4? Is it going to be a 4-on-4? Or is it just going to be 2-on-2? I've heard people say it could be just 2-on-2. Wyatt and Strowman versus the brothers. I think that probably is a good chance of happening. 4-on-2 would be a lot of work for Taker and Kane to work. That's a lot of guys they're going to work with. They could obviously DQ a few of them early on. Perhaps Eric Rowan gets in there and attacking for too long, or perhaps wants to get a couple of cheap shots in. They sacrifice somebody for a couple of chair shots or something like that. I don't know. So it could happen. They just have to kind of book it like that, or perhaps, Harper, gets caught by a chokeslam early on and gets pinned, and then level it up early. They'd have to level it up very quickly, within the first 5 minutes. So I think that's possible, but, two of them, obviously, Rowan and Harper, would be sacrificial lambs for sure. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that match, and Survivor Series has some intrigue, and the rest of the card looks as though it might be a bit, weaker, I guess. I mean, it looks as though they're going to do the semi-final matches at Survivor Series, so I'm guessing, I'm not sure what the brackets are exactly. I'm thinking it might be Del Rio and Ambrose. I'm not even going to guess. I have no idea what the brackets is. I don't have it up in front of me, so I'm not even going to guess. But the semi-final matches should be decent, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it. Survivor Series, it has some interest. They've spiced this up anyways. This Seth Rollins injury, at least it's got us wondering what is going to happen. How are they going to fix this? How are they going to get out of this? So for the most part, they've got some interest. It's whether or not they can keep it. So some other news this week as well. We had the news of Alberto Del Rio. Apparently he's not allowed to drop the AAA title. The EVP of AAA, Dorian Roldan, I fucked the name up. Confirmed that Alberto Del Rio will not be working any upcoming dates for AAA, leading to them having to vacate the championship. So that's a bit of a shame, the WWE not allowing Del Rio to work a couple of AAA shows. I mean, what's the harm in it, really? I mean, I guess Del Rio losing the title on a AAA show is not a good look for Del Rio. But, you could even have it in a triple threat match and Del Rio doesn't get pinned or anything like that. Whatever. So I guess it's not a good look for the WWE and not a good look for Del Rio if he loses on those shows. But honestly, how many people are going to watch those shows? Come on. It's not a big deal. The guy's booked. You should have him work those shows. I think it's just poor etiquette and the WWE using their power. And I think it's poor business. And honestly, that gives a bit of a bad look to the WWE, in my opinion. I get it that they believe that they're their only wrestling company around. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It doesn't matter about any of these other shows. They should be working wrestling WWE shows only, not wrestling in these other events. I get that, but I just think it'd be good business, just to maintain a bit of a relationship, you want to have a healthy relationship with these other promotions going around, because if AAA produces a next level Mexican star, and the WWE are going to probably steal him away, and you want to have that good relationship with them and be able to use their talent, and I don't know, I just think that's poor business. I just think that's a bad look for the WWE. Another thing as well this week, we had a few new guys joining the Legends deals this week in the WWE. Superstar Billy Graham, that's right. Who would have thought he was getting in there after his, infamous rant against Chris Jericho, how he was going to kill him and gut him and slice him up, or whatever the hell it was. That disturbing rant that he did. Somehow Billy Graham has got himself back in the company after saying a lot of shit about the WWE. Now, I guess the dollar signs have been ringing, money talks, and Billy Graham's back. Tatanka's also there, and the Boogeyman. So, Tatanka, okay. The Boogeyman's a little bit surprising. I mean, the Boogeyman wasn't really around all that long, let's be real. I actually was a big fan of the Boogeyman. I thought it was great. I think it might have been... When did he come in? 06, 07? Maybe... It wasn't 05, it was 06 or 07, I think. So I would have been... 11, 12 years old. So I thought he was really cool. I didn't think he was scary. I just thought it was cool. I was like, holy shit, this guy's eating worms, actual worms, smashing a clock over his head. I thought it was fucking cool. So I thought the Boogeyman was also always great. And he comes back here and there. He's an older man as well. I think he's in his 50s now. So that's fine. I mean, the Boogeyman, you bring him back with these Halloween things. And you might do, I don't know, something for the network, they're scaring people, things like that. I don't know, you could do a few things like that. I mean, why not? The Boogeyman, whatever, sure. So I'm okay with those, Billy Graham's always obviously a bit of an asterisk, I don't know how I feel about that one. I remember not too long ago when Dusty Rhodes passed away, they wanted to replace Dusty Rhodes in that position. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think Billy Graham's going to be involved in the WWE in any kind of sense. I just think they might, financially support the guy, or maybe use him occasionally for some interviews or something like that. That's really what these deals are all about. They have these guys' phone numbers, they can bring them in and do these things like interviews or the occasional appearances, autograph sessions, things like that. That's really what these guys kind of do, these legends, and that's great. That's what these guys should be doing. Bringing them in and just using them occasionally. It doesn't have to be on TV, but keep them in the family and look after these guys who put many years of service within the company. We also had another really good episode of Breaking Ground again. I kind of really had my eye on this show, really been interested in this show. Actually just got finished watching it before I did the show, and I really like it. Breaking Ground is really, really good. A little bit short this week. I don't know if if this is normally the case. I think it was like 35 minutes long, so it's a little bit short for my liking. Wouldn't mind it being more 40, 45 minutes long, to be honest with you. So a little bit short, but I liked it. I thought it was a good episode, and they went on the road this week to Texas and kind of showed Josh and his progression. He's struggled to get his character down packed, and his awful promo that he cut at the beginning of the show, and at the end, he cut a pretty decent one. Not too bad in the end. So they kind of tweaked his character a little bit, told him, look, you got to fix this. This is not working. And he went away and he cut a pretty decent heel promo. Pretty generic, but pretty decent heel promos from him. So a bit of potential from Josh. He's going to be obviously a lot of years in work in progress. And I love how they said in the show, he's been here for 10 weeks. He's not getting it yet. Jesus Christ, 2 months. The guy is trying to move into new houses. He's trying to, adjust from being a footballer to now a wrestler. Within 3 months, you expect him to be, getting promos down packed, and, I don't know, it's just ridiculous. It just goes to show that they've got no patience with anybody. And, sometimes you either have it or you don't. I get that. But if they've got this homegrown talent who you've brought in from these other backgrounds, it's going to take time. So I was a little intrigued and a little bit concerned about that. I mean, but who knows what we're missing out on backstage, because they're not giving these guys the time or the patience to actually develop into something. They might cut these guys instead of actually giving them a chance. And then in the end, they could go away and finally get that character or not. So I don't know, I think it's a little bit unfair, to say, you've been here for 10 weeks, why aren't you cutting good promos yet? I don't know. But, again, Breaking Ground's a great show. Really, really enjoy it. So if you haven't checked it out already, check it out on the WWE Network. It's really worth it. Probably worth the subscription. I think it's one of the premier shows on it. Probably the best show on the network at the moment. So definitely check that one out. So in other news, I guess, what is Brendan playing is the next little part of the show today. What am I playing? Oh my goodness. Fallout 4! Wow. I did a little bit of live stream last night. I streamed for about 3 hours playing Fallout 4, and I had an absolute freaking blast. So we're going to spend some time at Fallout 4. So if you're not a big fan of Fallout 4, I apologize, but I got to talk about it. So Fallout. As you guys know, if you've been following my channel, you know a little bit about me. You know I love Fallout. You know I'm a big fan. Fallout 3, one of my favorite games ever. Fallout New Vegas, didn't like it at first, but it really grew into me, and I really, really enjoyed it in the end. I really, really liked it in the end. So Fallout 4, it's just beautiful. Graphically beautiful, storyline-wise, enjoying it. It's faster, it's smoother, it's just everything is fantastic. People saying it's running poorly on the PS4, don't read in that bullshit. I've played like 12 hours of it, I haven't had a problem. The only problem I've had with Fallout has been the one thing I was doing today. We'll talk about it in a second, but you can build your own house, right? Build your own community. So I was trying to build my own community, and I had to go talk to a guy for a quest I was doing, and the audio wasn't working. It wouldn't let me talk to him properly. But I saved my game, I turned the game off, and re-put it, and started it back up again, reloaded it, and it worked fine since. So I had a little bit of a glitch there, where the audio wasn't working, and they weren't talking. The dialogue was coming up, but no mouse was moving, and no voice was happening. So I had a little bit of a problem there, but I fixed that, and we're all good. And the only thing that I kind of don't like about it as well is that when you turn around, or someone's talking to you, and you turn around, you can't really hear it. I wouldn't mind being able to just kind of look around, because I don't know, I think I might have ADHD or something like that. I really don't know, but when someone's talking to me, I kind of like to look around and kind of keep an eye around and kind of, I don't know, look around my surroundings. I just want to, keep moving around, but you can't, because if you turn around, you can't hear what they're saying. You can only barely just hear it, if that. So that's another thing I don't really like that much. I get what they're trying to do there. You turn around, you can't hear anybody, but I wouldn't mind that. Wouldn't mind that being fixed, I suppose. But aside from the occasional glitch, there's really nothing to really worry about, especially in the PS4 version. The game works and runs fantastically. Huge map, so much to do. That's the thing. Like, I don't even know where to begin. There's a lot of quests to do already, and I didn't even know about this. I didn't know you could build your own little community. You could build your own sanctuary. You could build your own, safe zone. It's amazing. I didn't know this. So when I was on my stream last night, and I got to the part where you could do this, I flipped out. I was like, holy shit. This is amazing, because I love creating my own houses. I'm a big fan of like The Sims, for example. I love tycoon games, those simulation games. I love those types of games. And even on Skyrim as well, when you can build your own house on Skyrim, that was fantastic. So on Fallout, you can really do a lot with it. You can go ahead and you can tear down other houses. You can build like many, many different places in all these different areas. You can clear out all the debris. You can, salvage any items that you want. You can take whatever the hell you want from all these different houses in this zone. It's amazing. And then you get all these people to come live in your area, and I guess they kind of work for you in a sense. You can get some that become your companion, and you get other people who just kind of roam around the town and live there and kind of, just do all that. It's incredible. It's honestly, that's the favorite part of the game so far. Not only that, like, I didn't even talk about the gameplay. I mean, I was on my stream last night, so some of you guys would have come along and checked that out, very few of you, but the dog, when we got the dog, and I was going into battle against some raiders, probably for like the first time, I was really trying to, fight off some actual enemies, and my dog comes along and just rips these guys up. He bites off the head of one of these guys. We had some mole rats coming along, and my dog just launches itself at these mole rats and just bites the mole rat's head off and just rips it all up. It was gory. It was amazing. And I was like, holy shit. This is phenomenal. This is fantastic. The gameplay itself, the gunplay is really good. The movement's good. I don't like the controls, I guess. I'm gonna get used to the controls. I still don't quite know all the controls down packed yet, so some of them are a little bit iffy. I think the Pip-Boy button should be the big middle button, rather than circle, to be honest. But other than that, like, there's a few things I don't like. The controls I don't really like, but I can move past that. But really, this game, graphically superb, runs smoothly. What can I say? This game deserves all the praise. You can knock a couple of points off it for a few glitches, but that'll be fixed. The thing is, Bethesda games always have issues at launch. Skyrim, other Fallouts, always a buggy mess when it releases. We always know that. But after 2 or 3 patches, runs perfectly. So you just have to kind of put up with it for a little bit of time, for a couple of weeks. Maybe that's why I think it's always suggested that if you're going to pick up a Bethesda game, probably wait a month. Like, I did that with Skyrim, and I waited a month, and all the problems with Skyrim was fixed. So I would probably suggest that. So if you're going to get it for Christmas, it's probably a good thing, because then you can get the game when all these little issues are ironed out. But there's not really that many issues to begin with. A couple small things. They're not game-changing, not game-breaking at all. Like I said, I had probably one game-breaking problem with it. I reloaded the game up, and it was all fixed, so it was all good. And I think it's quite challenging as well. Like, I came across a Deathclaw, and my god, that thing took fucking forever to kill, and that was a scary thing. That was frightening. That was a hell of a battle, and my god, I was shitting myself. Holy crap, how the hell am I going to kill this thing? One swipe at me, half my health's gone. Oh my god. I came across some super mutants as well. You know what I did? I just ran the fuck away. There's no way I was challenging those guys either. I had to kill the Deathclaw for the quest, so I was stuck doing that one. The Super Mutants, nah, screw that, I'm out. So, loving it. Love the enemies, love the challenge. I haven't even really, gone that far into the game. I've kind of been really just editing my house. I kind of think I spent maybe 4 hours just editing my house and building my own little place. I want to do like a video. I want to do a video where, like the MTV cribs, and I want to do like that for Fallout. I want to like show off my crib, kind of make it like a bit of a parody. Like the crib is like kind of old down and everything's kind of rusted and gone to shit, and the couch is all kind of ripped up. But I'd be like, oh my god, look at these pristine couches, perfect condition. My god, like the TV channel there is no TV channels on the TV, but I would come along and be like, oh my god, there's so much variety on this TV. It works perfectly, it gets every single channel, something stupid like that. It's kind of an idea I want to do. And the thing is, I really need to make my crib look really good, and I've been working a lot on trying to make it look good. I've even tried to get, getting Nuka-Cola bottles and trying to place them perfectly around the house, getting food and putting them in the shelves, trying to stock it all up and really make it look good. So that's kind of the plan I got now. So I think it's cool. I've got something to work on. So aside from the missions, I've got something I can, spend a lot of time on and really work on it. Go around and collect all these different things, bring it back to the crib, and put it all in the house. I think it'd be really fun. So I'll try and do that. I might, we'll see if that's something interesting. I imagine someone else will probably do it before me, so I might be a copier, but, I might just do that anyway. If not, just show off my house, because I'm pretty proud of it. I mean, it's not that great, but for what I know, for the items that I've got, I think it's pretty cool. So, if you can't tell already, Fallout 4, I loved it. I'm so happy because I was so hyped for this game, and I really wanted it to be so good, and it is. It's incredible. The other game that came out this week as well was Black Ops 3. I've been playing a lot of that online. I enjoy it. It's pretty good. The maps, the normal core maps, some of them are okay. I haven't really found that many favorites that I like it, which is probably the main issue that I have with the game. Zombies is okay. Haven't really played that much of it yet, and the campaign haven't really touched it at all. But the online is pretty fun. I've put a lot of hours into it. I think I'm level 55, so about ready to prestige on it. But I probably won't be playing that much of it now that Fallout's out. But it's a good game. It's a shooter that I've kind of wanted and I've been able to invest a lot of time into and have good fun with it. So Black Ops, I'm enjoying that. I think Tomb Raider just came out for the Xbox One. I'll be getting that later. Halo, I also really want that. I'll be getting that on the Xbox One later. So a few more games that I want. My friend might be buying Need for Speed for me soon. I think he's going to wait for a price drop because of the bad reviews, which probably won't be long until that happens. I don't know. Maybe it's an EA game. Probably won't have it for a while. So I'll be getting that soon. So there's a lot of games I want, and there's a lot of games I'm going to be getting. So I'm going to be gaming quite a lot. Aside from already doing WWE 2K16 gaming and doing all that, playing Fallout is going to be a big part of my life. It's going to be a lot of work, and I think I'm going to be doing like a couple playthroughs of Fallout. Honestly, I really, really enjoy this game so much. I really just want to play this game for as much as I can. I don't want to do too much of it. I want it to last so long. I want to be able to experience this for as long as I can. So I feel like I shouldn't be playing and getting too far ahead and doing too many missions. So I'm going to take my time and kind of explore around and perhaps work on my house a lot and do things like that. But been a great week for gaming, I tell you that. Fortunately, I have exams to kind of get around and get that done out of the way. So that's going to be impacting my gaming time. But man, I love it. I love gaming. I love Fallout 4. Fantastic. So we'll move on to a few fan questions now as we get ready to wrap things up. So let's get into today's questions. We'll kick it off with a couple of voicemails.
Hey Brendan, this is Mike from the forums. And my question is, who do you think will win between Kevin Owens and Brock Lesnar at Extreme Rules? Thanks.
So the big main event on the Extreme Rules show, Lesnar and Owens. Man, that's going to be a hell of a match. I guess looking at the storyline and look at where we've seen the last few weeks, Kevin Owens has been a little bit shaky. He's lost a couple matches, and he got beat by Ambrose, got beat by Bryan. So Owens is a little bit shaky. His run hasn't been that impressive just quite yet. He hasn't been the dominant Owens that we've seen. Lesnar, on the other hand, I mean, Lesnar's getting better and better every week we see him. I think Lesnar is really looking very, very likely that he could beat Kevin Owens. So I think it's going to be a really close one. I think you'll find that Kevin Owens might just survive, but it's Brock Lesnar at the end of the day. He knows how to win a big match. One-on-one Lesnar finally getting a title shot. The more I think about it, the more I think Brock Lesnar, but I think Kevin Owens will find a way. But I don't know how he's going to do it, but he's going to have to find something. He's going to have to do something drastic to stay in it. This next one comes from Edgar. He wants to know, where do you get your universe mode ideas from? Are they simply just how you would want WWE to book these angles? Yeah, it's a bit of that. It is a bit of that. Sometimes, for example, Kevin Owens or a Dean Ambrose, I think I really like those two guys, so I think, they should get more of an opportunity and be, main event guys. So I would probably position them higher up on my show because I think they deserve to be there. But sometimes, people suggest ideas to me all the time, like the pick your poison thing on the recent episode of SmackDown. Somebody suggested that to me. I thought that was a good idea, so I went with that. People suggest ideas most of the time to me, but a lot of the time that I just kind of comes to my head. I look at two guys and I see them differently to how I see them in real life. So when I see someone in universe mode, for example, Dolph Ziggler, I see as this defiant underdog who keeps on winning and just keeps on prevailing over and over and over, who has such big potential to become, I suppose I'm describing him in real life as well, but I guess I just give the opportunities to some guys that I think deserves those opportunities in real life. I give them the chance on universe mode, like a Dolph Ziggler. But other times things just fall into place. The game will deliver a cutscene, and I'll go, okay, let's do that. Let's roll with that. We'll build around that. So it's quite random, but also it is a big product of my own imagination as well. So moving along now, our next one comes from 37 Will Dog. What is going on with this Cesaro and Stardust feud? Is Stardust going to sit in the stands and do nothing for the rest of the year? I hope so, because I do not want to see Stardust and Cesaro have a match. I don't really give a shit. Don't care about Stardust, don't care about the Ascension. I care about Cesaro, and because I care about Cesaro, I don't want him feuding with Stardust. That is not a good thing for Cesaro. He needs to be elevated, not feuding with, Stardust. That's lower mid-card, that's pre-show stuff. So let's get him elevated. Let's not downgrade him any more than he's already there. Next one comes from Alfonso Henrique. Between 1 out of 10, how would you rate Seth Rollins' title reign? I would probably give it about a 4, honestly. It was a long title reign. Actually, honestly, I'll go to 3. It was a long title reign. It dragged out for a long time. It did deliver some pretty good matches, but the storylines were weak. Him as a champion was very uncredible. He was overexposed. He had so many segments every single week. He was on TV way too much, and his promos aren't the best. So him being on TV talking every single week for 20 minutes is not a good thing. So overall, his booking, his believability, his credibility was very, very low. His match quality was good. I wouldn't say he had any memorable matches. I wouldn't, say, oh my god, I wouldn't recommend a match that he had to anybody, honestly. So I think he had a pretty poor run. And I don't really blame Seth Rollins for that. I'm also blame the WWE because their booking for him was so terrible. It was awful. So the guy never really had a chance to succeed on that regard. I don't think, like I said, in the ring he was good, but his character-wise was really poor, and I definitely blame the booking and creative for that. Next one from Larry Williams. Have you ever thought about using another wrestling promotion in your universe mode? No, not really, because it'd be too hard to do. If you're going to do a TNA versus WWE kind of universe mode, it would be too hard. I mean, it's possible to do now with the new community creations, but it just wouldn't look good. It just wouldn't be what you want it to be. And I'm happy with the way universe mode is now. I don't really want to change it too much, other than perhaps adding in NXT, which a lot of you guys are very interested in as well, which is good to hear. So other than really NXT, that might be the only change that I create. So I suppose that's my second wrestler promotion. It's the same promotion, I know, but that's my second show that I'm adding in, I guess. So I'm not going to add in another show. I'm not going to add in a WWE rival. I'm not adding in TNA. I'm not adding in WCW or ECW. Nothing like that. I'm just going to keep it the way it is. Another one from Afonso. He wants to know, has this year of WWE been the worst in history? Well, I wouldn't say it's the worst. It's been pretty bad. Let's be fair. It's been pretty bad. I guess towards the latter end of it, it's been really bad because now all these injuries, people taking time off, it's been pretty bad. The only feud that I've really enjoyed thoroughly was the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar thing, so I think that feud and their Hell in a Cell match kind of saved this year for me quite a bit. I look back at 2012, that was a pretty dreadful year. We had a couple of decent matches, obviously the CM Punk and Daniel Bryan thing. John Cena and CM Punk even had a match there again. Lesnar and Cena. Lesnar and Triple H was okay as well. So it's a few high points, but you got to remember John Cena was in the main event of every freaking show. You even had John Laurinaitis in the main event. You had the Big Show in the main event against Cena. So some really shitty matches. And you look at the mid-card there, it was atrocious. You know, at least you've had the John Cena Open Challenge to keep the mid-card going and give it a bit of life. I think there's certainly been some good things, and there's certainly been some bad things for sure, but I wouldn't say it's the worst year of all time. I think 2012 is the one that I look at the most, and definitely compare that and say 2012 was at least worse. 2013, I think, might edge it out. That'd be close, but I think 2013 might have been better, and last year as well, probably better as well. Finally, this one comes from Callum Burgess. Do you see any upper-class NXT superstars, such as Finn Balor, getting a push into the WWE main roster in the near future? Honestly, I don't want to see that, because they brought in Tyler Breeze, and look what he's done already. He had a match on Raw, he lost, nobody gives a shit about him already. I want to see them do something with the guys they have now. Don't resort into bringing someone up from NXT, because you start afresh with those guys, and you've got to do that whole process. You've got the guys on the roster that you need right now. You've got your Ambroses, you've got your Cesaros, you've got your Owens, you've got all these guys that can be something. I mean, look, Damian Sandow's not even on TV, and how great is he? He can't even get a start on Raw. They've got so many guys that they could be using that they can create into stars. They just have to do that. They just have to put the machine behind it and give them a chance, and they can become something. Give these guys more creative freedom. You look at the New Day, they're doing whatever the hell they want. It shows. You can see that they're doing what they want, and it's working. So having these guys on such a strict script is not working. So give them more freedom, give these guys that opportunity, and they will succeed. If they don't succeed, then they don't have it. Then they're not good enough for it, and fair enough. Don't push them. But you can't tell me that a guy like Cesaro, a guy like Dolph Ziggler, you know, they can't get over. Dean Ambrose, they can't get over with the opportunity. I mean, they're already over, you know, or have been over. And that's without the WWE really even trying with them. You give them that opportunity. You give them like a Roman Reigns kind of push, where these guys are winning all the time, and they're, you know, kicking ass. People are going to love these guys. So you give them the opportunity, and they will succeed. They just have to give these guys a chance. And no, I wouldn't be bringing up anybody else, because they have the guys on the roster already. They're already not using all of them. There's so many guys that they can be positioning a lot better and creating into stars, but they're not doing it already. So why would they bring up someone else for them not to do anything with again? So look at Neville. Jesus Christ, he's doing terrible. Lucha Dragon's awful. You know, we talked about this last week. So bringing these guys up for setting them up for failure is not a good idea, and Finn Balor should not be treated that way for sure. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Let's Talk Tuesdays. If you did enjoy this week's show, smash the like button from me as well. And if, of course, you want to subscribe to the channel, make sure you do that. Leave a like on the video, and, of course, go check out iTunes. Leave some ratings there. Spreaker as well. We are doing really well on Spreaker. I think we're number 5 on Spreaker on sports shows, which is cool. Stitcher, like I said earlier on, give me some love on Stitcher. Try and help the show there. Support the Patreon as well. I actually did the extra Patreon episode of Let's Talk Tuesdays, so I'm not sure when I'm going to upload that. Sometime this week. I did a half an hour little extra show where I talked about WWE 2K15 and 2K16, my thoughts and opinions on the two games. So I'll be putting that up sometime. So I finally got around to doing that. So make sure you support the Patreon, however big or however small. You get yourself a couple of little rewards for doing that. So I really appreciate everyone that has been supporting the Patreon and supporting the channel as a whole. You guys are awesome. Keep it up, and I really cannot thank you enough. Guys, thank you so much again for watching, and have a great week, and I'll see you all next Tuesday. Time to play some Fallout 4, baby.